Hi there, welcome back to the Rare Book Reviews channel, where I'm hoping to get to show you some rare books or unusually good books or exciting books or rare editions. I like to take you along on my shopping expeditions, and I am very frugal, so it might be easier to buy these books if I didn't have such a budget. But today I'm going to one of my favorites. It is a warehouse, and you just never know what you'll find there. It's a used bookstore, so it's kind of whatever is coming and going. You just never know what you'll find. They tend to really deal in volume, so sometimes you can find a deal on a good edition that they just maybe slip through the cracks. So it's a little bit of a treasure hunt. I have a lot of birthday wish lists that I'm working on right now, so you never know if I might find things that fit that bill, and then I have some friends that have given me lists. So let's go see what we can find. It was a very successful shopping trip. It was very interesting. I overheard some great conversation. There was a dealer in talking to the owner, and he was talking about how much he makes per day by listing things online. And it really does seem like this warehouse, they own another location in a very fancy part of town. So that bookstore I've never dared to go into because I've looked at it online and the prices are out of my frugal budget. And I think that they're selling things at the fancy bookstore, and then they're buying entire collections. So some stuff goes there, some stuff they post online, and then the used bookstore, the warehouse that I go, is just kind of the rest of it. So they're just trying to move all that inventory out, which is maybe why sometimes you can find a good bargain, which is what I found today. I found some great stuff. I found a couple things for the present shelf, so I can't show you those, and I found some cool things. I found, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory by Roald Dahl. I love Roald Dahl. I believe I have a video of my vintage Roald Dahl, so I will put a link to that. Roald Dahl, weird. I enjoyed him as a child. I enjoyed reading his books, and I enjoy his books now. His biographies are also really interesting. He had a very interesting career in life, and as an author, interesting stuff. So Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, interesting edition notes. This one, I want to check and make sure it is not quite as early as the one that I have, but it is in better condition. This is the one I have. I got this at an auction with a whole lot of other books, so it cost me about, if you break it out by book, about $1.25, which is super cheap. This one is earlier, but you can see the dust jacket is missing this piece. So I put it in a protective cover to keep it from losing anything more. It is losing, it's got a little bit missing from the spine as well, which is unfortunate because on the shelf that is the part that you see. The difference is, I'll show you, this is the earlier one. It's price clipped on the dust jacket, so you can't tell what the original price was, but the end papers are this mustard color. And the other big point that you'll see people talk about when they list these online is this is the back, the last page. There's a little bit here, and then this is called the colophon, and people talk about how many lines this is. So I believe this is sort of second printing where it has 5 lines. I think that's what's going on, if memory serves. And this one that I bought, it has green end papers. These are later. It is also price clipped, so no clues there. But if you look at the end, This is a completely different situation. Got the about the author, and then this, and then a bunch of other things here. You can also see on the back, here is a book number. I think this is right before, it doesn't have a 0, so I think this is right before it became the International Standardized Book Number, the ISBN. I think this is just before that, the standardized book number, but it probably was US. This is the US edition, so the earlier edition probably is the UK one, but that's beyond me. This is what I have on hand. So, but this is really cool. I paid a confusing amount of money for this because I took some books and traded them in, but it was either $4 or $6. A very murky math situation there. 4 or 6. It does have a little bit of damage. So the dust jacket is complete, which is nice, except it is price clipped. There is a little bit here, looks like it's come into contact with moisture, and you can see there's a little bit of on the cover, but it doesn't go into the book. And there's a little bit of that on the back as well, you can see here. So I'm not going to keep this. It's not, because it's not as early as the one that I have. And the dust jacket is better, but I don't really like to break up the dust jacket in the book. I think that mismatch is unfortunate. So I will list this on my eBay, and I will show all those sort of handling wear situations, the sake of things. So I'll be forthright about that, but I think probably it's in the $20 range, plus or minus, on eBay. So I'm going to make money. And the nice thing is that I got traded in some books that I know I'm not going to read that are in fine condition, so they're going to find them a new home, and I kind of just trade it up. So this one I can sell, and then that will sustain my book collecting lifestyle. This is making me wonder. I said to someone recently, I don't have a copy of this. I think I said it on an episode. I don't have a copy on hand, a vintage one. They're really pricey. If an original To Kill a Mockingbird is just, that's a very high-end thing. I've never found an amazing one. This is a book club edition, which is a reprint, and it's, the only issue with this is, like in many book club editions, there's nothing wrong with this, the paper quality is a little thinner, and that's how they save money. They have subscribers, so they are only printing a book at a time, and they know how many they need. So one of the ways that they make that more affordable for people who are subscribing, they're just doing one book, right? But they also, sometimes they cut down the size, so they make it a little bit of a smaller piece of paper and the cover. And then sometimes the paper quality is just a little bit thinner, and that is one of the ways that they make it easier for people to acquire them. This is vintage. It has an inscription that says 1990. I think that's when the previous owner had it. It is dated 1960. It's probably later than that. I think this is probably 70s. There is an earlier version. There's a book club edition that's earlier that doesn't have this Pulitzer Prize. And I think it has a picture of Harper Lee on the back. I've seen that one before. But the interesting thing is, I was saying, I kind of wish I had a physical copy of this, a nice one. These are, even the book club edition, if you buy this at a bookstore or even on eBay or one of the online sellers like A-Books, this is going to be $25. So, and I paid $5-ish, mostly in trade. So I'm going to keep this. I'm going to put a protective cover on it to keep it really nice. It's a very nice crisp cover. And then I'll try to trade up. When I find a nicer one, I'll just swap it out. And then that satisfies my desire to have a physical copy and makes me wonder if I've conjured it out of the air. This is kind of cool. Spam Nation by Brian Krebs. Brian Krebs has a podcast newsletter about online security, and this is a book that he wrote, and it's signed, so that's cool for me for reading. And then the last vintage find is a little bit of a gamble. 3 books in the Wizard of Oz series. This is an interesting edition. This is later, but it is published by Riley and Lee. For many of the books, this was the original publisher. I think swapped around at different times. I did not read these as a kid, so I don't collect them. And there are many, so they take up a lot of room on the shelves. And I don't have any room left. These were $5-ish. And I'm going to sell them as a lot. And there are 3. There's the Patchwork Girl of Oz, which is an interesting one. This one I know from previous experience. The original vintage one's just incredibly rare. So if you're a collector, maybe you want this one because it is vintage. And these are in nice condition. Ozma of Oz, very cool illustrations. And then the Emerald City of Oz and this one I'm confused about where it is in the series. These are probably not sequential, well, all over the place, and this is a gamble. I have no idea how much these are worth, but I'm pretty sure they're worth more than they paid for them, and the ultimate goal here was to trade in some things, spend the trade, maybe a couple extra dollars, buy some things for the present shelf. So I think that it went really well. I found some cool things and something to read, something to keep. Maybe I'll reread To Kill a Mockingbird. I haven't read that in a long time. That would be fun. And some things to fund my book lifestyle. So I think a successful trip and really fun. Thank you, as always, for watching. I really appreciate everybody who has subscribed and sent me nice comments. I love hearing about what people are reading, what they think, and what they're excited about. So thank you for everyone who's done that. I think the nicest people on the internet are the book people. So I love hearing from you. Thank you for the encouragement, and happy reading.